Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Finally got my hands on the ultimate Kessler wolf from American Werewolf in London, made by Neca. Got it from Mad About Horror. Excellent service as always. That's madabouthorror.co.uk. That's where you can get this piece. And massive thank you and shout out to Pure Horror on Instagram as well for sending it along so safe and fast, and just an amazing service. Really good people over there. And I'm so excited to finally get this guy out of the packaging and see it. I'm such a massive werewolf fan in general, and American Werewolf in London is definitely one of the very best werewolf films ever made. So drop a like on the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, follow me on Instagram at DeanKnight333 for plenty of pics and clips. Hope you enjoy this one, guys. Let's get stuck in. Alright, so the scene is set with one of the other American Werewolf in London figures that came out recently from Neca, and there's the Arrow special edition. Beautiful package there, love the artwork on that. Let's just take a moment to appreciate the amazing art there. Really cool. And then the artwork on the actual Neca box itself. I have this t-shirt, and I was so happy to see that they went with this particular artwork for the packaging. It tells the story. They're crossing the field there, heading to the slaughtered lamb, the full moon, and the looming threat of the beast. Look at that, savage. That's by an artist named Osborne, if I'm not mistaken. But the t-shirt is over here. I'll just show you, just so you can see. There it is. T-shirt form. I got that from Fright Rags. That's frightrags.com, I guess. But yes, and then we have the American Werewolf in London Blu-ray, nice kind of VHS old 80s style kind of packaging, and then the Sota Toys American Werewolf in London bust, which is a really rare and cool piece. There's only 1,000 of those made many years ago now, so very hard to come by. Alright, so yes, front cover is absolutely stunning. Then on the top here we have an image of the figure with the open mouth head. It says warning, choking hazard, small parts not for children under 3 years, ages 17 and up, so definitely not for the kiddies. And there's an image of the closed mouth head. Definitely looks like one of the final shots in the movie when he's cornered in the alley. And yeah, Neca real toys, and opposable werewolf, so you can get him kind of really low like that. Very aggressive looking. Oh, can you imagine that? That's, we never got to see from David and Jack's point of view when they were on the moors, and they could hear it getting closer, and then it was circling them. We never did get to see what they were looking at, but imagine it was something like that in the mist and the fog on the moors. Just absolutely terrifying. Pause this and have a read. And that's a very scary picture right there. Right, let's have a look. There'll be another image here. There he is again, cornered in the alleyway. That's really nicely done. And I do have my big diorama ready to go, so I'm going to put him in an alleyway diorama, and it's going to look really cool. But there he is, packaged in there with the spare head. Pretty simple, it's just the werewolf and the spare head. So let's bust him out and turn him loose. Oh, and underneath the box as well, let's just take a look at the credits quickly. There's the artist I was talking about. It's Mr. Justin Osborne. Amazing stuff. He's done some really good stuff. Some great Halloween t-shirts as well. And everyone else involved, very well done. Official Universal Product Slasher Design Company. Very nice. As soon as I took this out, the smell hits you. It's a very pungent new figure smell. It's a nice smell. And I almost forgot, with all of these Ultimate Neca figures, they usually give you inside the box, like the inlay, is a nice background that you can take pictures with, and this is really nice and big. This is the diorama that I guess Neca used when they did the promotional photography for the piece when it first went up for pre-order. So that is really cool. So if you don't have a diorama, then at least you can use this, and that should work pretty well. Very nice. Okay, so here it is, and I have to say I'm really impressed, more than I thought I would be. As much as I knew I would love this piece, I do remember watching some of the early reviews on YouTube and thinking, I wasn't too keen on seeing the joints here, but in person it's really actually a lot more subtle than I thought. I thought I might, later on down the line end up doing some kind of mod with maybe some epoxy sculpt or something and just kind of, blending this all together to make it look, get him down in a pose like this and then just kind of seal it all and make him look seamless. But to be honest, it's a lot more subtle, so I don't think I'll even need to do that. This is a very nice, very well executed piece so far. Good articulation in the head as well. He was looking quite low down when I first got him out of the packaging, but I lifted his head up to look straight forward, and just instantly it just made me think of that alleyway scene at the end. And obviously we have the spare head with this really aggressive look as well, which is just sculpted and painted to perfection from the looks of things, but we'll get a much closer look at that soon. But first impressions are amazing, absolutely amazing, well worth the wait. How long people have waited for a Kessler Wolf, and now it's here. There's a couple of options out there. I mean, obviously, like I said, Sota Toys did that bust good few years back, and then I think there's a quarter scale statue, maybe by PCS possibly, of him kind of walking down the stairs of the cinema. That's quite an old piece as well, but this is something that a lot of people will be able to afford, and I would probably act fast. I can imagine something like this. I mean, a lot of Neca figures, they tend to be quite readily available, even a good sort of year after they get released. But with something like this, I'd swoop on it faster than usual. I just think there's a slim chance maybe that something like this could become quite hard to find in years to come. For instance, the Spider Gremlin from Gremlins 2 by Neca. I have that, and I couldn't believe when someone pointed out to me how much it was going for on eBay these days. Like, big money, the Spider Gremlin. So you never know, this could end up being one of those ones. So yeah, act fast, and remember, like I said, madabout.horror.co.uk, best place to go. They've got plenty of these in stock at the moment for a really good price. So I'll just show you the underneath. I love the way they've done the hanging kind of fur around his chest, just like in the movie. And also, if you haven't seen it, on the Joe Rogan Experience, the podcast, he interviewed or sat down with Rick Baker about a year ago, but it's a really, really interesting interview. He ended up talking quite a bit about the making of American Werewolf in London. So it's well worth checking out if you haven't seen it, that one, folks, or if you don't know about it, just search on YouTube, Joe Rogan, Rick Baker, and try and find the full podcast. It's very interesting to listen to the master, Rick Baker, talk about creating this beast. Man, look at that. Absolutely savage. I mean, that looks a lot like that one, that image there of the werewolf. In fact, I mean, it's very close indeed. Now he's got a little bendy nail there, which I can heat up with a little hairdryer or something, and then I can just kind of bend it back into place, and then, or maybe just dip it in hot water and then bend it into place and then put it in cold water straight away, and you should be able to get a nice straight nail going on there. But all the other ones are absolutely fine, and his joints are nice and stiff, so he's not flopping about the place or anything. Very solid piece. Just a very terrifying creature. I've always loved werewolves. I mean, I wouldn't want to see one in person, but they're my favourite monsters. And we could do with more werewolf movies. And just to show you folks what he looks like on a shelf with other figures or other items that aren't exactly the same scale as him, I think he still looks amazing, just as a piece on its own. This is one of those, I mean, this, you could say about anything really, but if you got like a desk, an office or whatever, and you just want something to represent something you grew up loving, I mean, this is one hell of a piece. I mean, the joints are very nicely concealed. I mean, from regular viewing distance, it looks like almost like a seamless statue, but you can pose it, get him in that low stance or a bit more kind of a medium range stance like this one, stepping forward slightly. Just a very, very cool piece. Very, very cool for display, and it's nice to have him here along with the rest of the horror icons. You have to acknowledge that howl, the noise that this werewolf makes in the movie. And I've seen lots of special features on the film and how the special effects were done, but I don't remember. I'll have to double check, especially on the nice Arrow special edition I got down here, because there's so many special features on there. But I'd love to know how they made that howl. it's just bone chilling, and it's never been topped. It's such an iconic part of the movie. In fact, you know, one of the first things I always think of if I think of this film is that howl, and just how terrifying it would be to hear that in the distance if you were walking alone at night in the woods or on the moors or wherever you might be. So just have to mention the howl of this werewolf. Such a terrifying sound. I went looking for the howl on YouTube just to see you know, if there was any information about how that was created. And one of the first comments, the most popular comment, was someone saying that they always found the howl that the werewolf from this film makes is truly bone-chilling, and almost sounds like there's a tortured kind of soul within the werewolf that's kind of screaming out in agony, as well as the actual animal sound as well. So just terrifying. I'm just outdoors. I was going to try and do some outdoor photography, but it's very cold and windy out here, folks. But just holding this in my hand and standing out here and hearing the wind blowing around me, it's been a long time coming, folks, but this is something so many people have been wanting, and me included, and they really, really delivered. It's truly everything I could have asked for when it comes to a Kessler wolf. Excellent. Do not hesitate. All the different tones going on. Really, really nice. Absolutely awesome. Here's a little height comparison between the Kessler wolf and the Ultimate Demon figure, which came out just a little bit before this one. But you get a sense there, because that's, you know, obviously Jack and David, if they were figures by Neca, and hopefully they will be one day, they would probably be the same size as this guy. You get a sense of what, you know, Jack and David were attacked by on the moors that night. Alright, I just want to see how easy it is to change over the heads on camera if I can. Oh, that was easy. Gotta be careful though, because his nails are quite sharp and they're going to rip my nice leather surface on the desk here. So be careful with your werewolf claws. Right, so yeah, the head came off nice and easy, and then we'll just pop this one on. And oh wait, his mane came off. That's a separate piece. Nifty. I'll put that on there. And be careful. I'm going to make sure I don't break nothing. I will always treasure this piece, seeing as I'm such a big werewolf fan. And that is on there. And there he is now. That again just reeks of the alleyway scene. Look at that. Get looking up a bit. The intensity in the eyes and the blood on the teeth and the tongue and all around the gums. Very, very cool. This is such a good figure, guys. I already just tell you right now, I think it's a 10 out of 10 from what I can see and feel. Definitely. But we'll carry on with the review. But this is absolutely essential. Ooh, that might have to be the thumbnail. Something like that. Alright, so I guess we should get the diorama involved, because this is going to look incredible. So I'll grab that, folks. And this awesome diorama here was made by Cult Creations, and that is how you get in touch with Mr. Glenn. Sorry guys, I'm just adjusting the brightness on my camera constantly, because depending on where I move it needs adjusting. But that's how you get in touch with Glenn, and he can make you an awesome diorama. This is actually a 1/6 scale diorama for, you know, Hot Toys figures, Sideshow figures, stuff like that, but I'm pretty sure the werewolf will look awesome in here regardless. Alright, so here he is in the diorama, and it looks amazing through the camera here. I have to be careful how I show it in the diorama, because like I said, it is a 1/6 scale diorama, so like the door here, for example, you know, is meant for a 1/6 scale figure, and this is a 7-inch scale figure, and it just makes the werewolf look smaller than he should because he's in the wrong scale diorama. But it's the best I can do right now. I might get in touch with Cult Creations myself pretty soon and get a nice little diorama for this guy whipped up, just something for him to stand in. Do make sure you check me out on Instagram and give me a follow on there, guys, because I will be putting up lots of pictures from angles like this, which I've just done a couple now, and it looks absolutely incredible.
I might add some effects like some mist and some smoke and stuff in the alleyway here. But really fun taking pictures of this guy. So Instagram, Dean Knight 333, place to be. And don't forget to follow Mad About Horror and Pure Horror on there as well. Keep up to date on all the stuff that's getting released. Sneak peeks and such. Live streams, competitions, giveaways, shenanigans. Now I wanted to try and get him in a lashing out kind of pose, and you can do that. I mean, it might look a bit awkward, but I think it looks okay. So you kind of imagine he's telling you to back the hell off. This is my alley.
Ye are not welcome here. Look at that. Looks awesome no matter what you do with it.
But yeah, some really good posability for the quadruped beast. That's 4 legs. You got quadruped werewolves, which are this one, 4 legs, and then biped. Those are the more, human on their hind legs walking around, which I always found just absolutely creepy. My favorite kind is the biped on their hind legs, but there is something just, very hound from hell like about the quadrupeds here. But yeah, slashing pose achieved, and looks awesome. Look at that. Definitely have to get a few pictures of this from different angles. It made sense to put the open mouth head on for a pose like this. He's balancing pretty well. Let's see what it looks like from this angle. Oh, he doesn't want to balance now. Let me just rearrange this slightly. That other leg there needs to come out a bit. Come on, mister. There you go. And for the purposes of just taking a few pictures, it should be able to work quite nicely. Absolutely savage piece. Look at the detail.
Alright, well, without a stand, I can't get him to stay balanced standing up like this, but I just thought that looked terrifying. I was just messing around, kind of got him like raised up, howling at the moon. Really ferocious, and just looks really scary like that. So it's nice that you can do it, but you would need to use some kind of stand in order to get that to balance. But it's such a awesome piece. Let's check out the detail here, the sculpt and the paintwork. Lots of different tones here, kind of greys, almost like a bluish tone in places as well, but different greys and just darker areas. Really nicely done. Very good sculpt with the hair work. There's his little tail. Alright, so I've got that real low. You could probably get him even lower than that, to be honest. But there's just something super creepy about when he's like this. But absolutely awesome. And good fun to pose. I can't wait to put him on the shelf with the rest of the werewolves. I think he's gonna kind of claim that spot. He's definitely got that new figure excitement factor going on at the moment. Very awesome. Kind of got him stepping off the back steps there as well. Amazing. There you go. That's what you come here for, the good stuff. Freddy riding the Kessler wolf. Because that's the right scale. They're both ultimate Neca figures. So that may be the thumbnail, actually. Let me think about that one. But that just looks awesome. Ooh, go ahead. Might put a little clip of that on Instagram just to tease you before the review goes up on YouTube. So in which case you've probably seen this already, but that is awesome. Yeah, that's got to be the thumbnail. Come on. Behave yourself, Dean. Look at that.
Before we wrap things up, folks, I just wanted to concentrate on the sculpt for a minute, and we can just really appreciate the amazing detail here. Still got him in his low stance. Torn between which head sculpt to use. Definitely be justified to get 2 of these so you could utilize both heads. You never have enough werewolves in your collection. It's nice that Neca would finally bring us an American Werewolf in London, Kessler Wolf. Fingers crossed. I love the film that came out the same year as this, called The Howling, 1981. The first Howling movie. They made quite a few sequels, but the first one is definitely the best in my opinion, and probably the most frightening werewolf design for me personally. That's another biped werewolf, long wolf-like snout, the pointy ears, and upright, just very cruel, malicious werewolf. So that's, I've mentioned it before, but the Kessler Wolf here, when David transforms into the werewolf, he kind of blacks out and doesn't remember anything the next morning. He kind of sees things in the paper and doesn't remember anything about what happened. But in The Howling, much like in the movie Dog Soldiers, when the people transform into the werewolf, they are still aware, they're still present, behind the eyes of the wolf. They're kind of making all the decisions, and they know exactly what they did the next day when they wake up. So that's always creepy to me. But just amazing figure here, guys. 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10. Why not? I mean, it's absolutely perfect as far as I'm concerned. Couldn't be happier with it. You'll be seeing it more on the channel. Don't forget, you can get it from madaboutthorror.co.uk right now for a very good price. Can't say enough good things about it. So fingers crossed we get more werewolves from Neca and other companies in the future. But I mean, the big dog, literally, is American Werewolf in London. That's so many people's favourite werewolf movies, so they got us covered now. And hopefully we get plenty of versions of David. Well, actually Jack is the one we want different versions of in as many different stages of decomposition from the movie. But David, from the beginning of the movie, double pack with Jack, when they're on the moors, that would be amazing. And then maybe a version of David in a hospital bed, like when he has the nightmare and his eyes open in the woods when he's in the hospital bed and he looks all kind of freaky. That might be a long shot because of the whole hospital bed scene thing. They'd have to include a big bed for him to lie in, so maybe not. It might just be an alternative head sculpt that they give you of another version of David, maybe. And a transformation scene, they could do about 4 of those, because there's all those different stages of the transformation. And yeah, there's just a lot they could do with this license, but they've already given us some really amazing stuff. So thank you, Neca, for always looking out for the horror fans and always eventually delivering and giving people what they want. I've just seen them announce a RoboCop Ultimate figure, which looks really good as well. And there's just so much stuff that they make. It's hard to keep up, really, but I mean, this was the one that I was really excited for, and here he is. So amazing. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, folks. Hit the bell icon next to the subscription button. That way you'll get email notifications every time I drop a new video. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at DeanKnight333. And if you want to support the channel and get more reviews up on here, help me keep things rolling, you can become a Patreon for as little as $1 a month, and I'll stick your name at the end of every video, just like the credits of a movie. All my Patreons are producers of my content, and I thank them all so much for sticking with me. And I just love being part of this community. It's an amazing experience every day. Film awesome stuff, share things with a community that is just wonderful. You've got the horror community, you've got just the figure community in general, statue community, just so much to delve into and become part of. And I've been doing this channel now since 2007. It's been a long time, and I still love it today just as much as I did the day I started. So it's an absolute pleasure getting to make these videos for you folks, and I just thank you so much for all your support and love, and thank you for all the comments and just all the messages that I get from you guys out there. It's just a beautiful thing, and every now and then you just have to acknowledge that and say thank you to everybody. And yeah, just I hope you're doing well. I hope you're enjoying the hobby. Whatever you're into, do it well, and I will see you back on this channel real soon. Take it easy. See you soon. Bye bye.